Hey, everybody. Welcome to Lifestyle Today. I'm your host, Justine Santinello. So, are you guys ready for Halloween yet? I am so excited for you guys to see my family's costumes. I'm not going to lie, they're pretty amazing. And I'm so happy that Parker is still up for a family costume. Now, if you're still prepping for your Halloween festivities, be sure to head to our website to catch up on last week's episode where I gave a ton of ideas to help step up your game. Now, let's switch gears a little bit. You guys know that I love a good binge watch, and my latest favorite has been the first installment of American Sports Story, Aaron Hernandez. And the 10-episode limited series charts the rise and the fall of NFL superstar Aaron Hernandez, exploring his life, his career, family, his legacy, and really beyond. Josh Rivera stars as Aaron Hernandez and is joining us now to tell us all about the show. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
So there have been a few projects now, right, that have been dedicated to the life of Aaron Hernandez. You know, there's been podcasts and TV series. What do you think makes this series different from something that we might have seen before?
Yeah. I'm glad to answer that. I think the amount of content that's been made surrounding the situation is a really big testament to how many ways you can really look at it and how many perspectives are surrounding the whole thing. What we can do from a dramatization standpoint that you might not get from a documentary or podcast is, you know, we walk through the story chronologically from beginning to end, starting in high school and ending with his passing. And it gets this very intimate, emotional perspective that you might not get from anything else. Like, we have all of the same, events that are portrayed in the documentaries and the shows and stuff like that, but with the added, more publicly gray, speculative moments. And you see these emotional seeds and these threads that are planted in the beginning, and how they're kind of sown and how they grow into a person that you don't recognize by the end of the series, which is it's something really interesting to watch from that point of view, I think.
So I have to ask, what was it like working with Ryan Murphy and working on one of his projects?
Yeah, something that I've said before is, I mean, the man's already got this pretty large legacy. He's a very, very prolific guy. I mean, it feels kind of, I mean, it just feels really cool to be any part of that legacy at all. The guy knows what he's doing. What else can I really say?
Yeah. So then what was it like for you preparing for this role? I imagine that it was probably very different from anything else that you've done, right? Especially in the physical aspect.
Yeah, absolutely. The physical part was the fun part. I did really like getting very big. I had a good time with that. The challenge was because there's already this established perspective on the story. It's widely known. It was a real media spectacle when it was happening. And with that in mind, something that's difficult is people are already going to have impressions about it going in, which is simultaneously daunting and also exciting, because I would hope to be able to give people some new, fresh perspective who have kind of established ideas about the whole thing. But also, you know, I can't really cater to that. I can't cater to what people's ideas are of the whole thing, because it's my job to look at all the facts as they're presented and, you know, bring what I can, as objectively as I can, bring some sort of humanity and authenticity to the story. And I have to make that compatible with the existing ideas of what the story is too, it's a very, very interesting challenge. And it's not something I've ever had to deal with before. I mean, particularly with fictional IP, you know, you don't really have to deal with stuff like that.
So then what has this project taught you about football and the effects on players, you know, CTE and everything else? Have you learned something from this?
Yeah, I mean, I've learned a lot about CTE in general and what it can do to a brain and how common it seems to be. It's only able to be diagnosed after death, but I would imagine that there's probably a lot of mild to moderate variances of it in more people than we think. But that being said, I think a lot of this story gets pinned on the CTE component, and I think that is like a large component to it. But something else that I learned was there's a real complexity to this guy's life, and there's a lot of factors that he faced for a very long time. He had a complicated relationship with his father, a complicated relationship with his family and with his friends and with football and with his masculinity. And with all of these factors together, throw in getting famous really young. He was one of the youngest players drafted into the NFL and to the New England Patriots, which was a very, very huge franchise at the time. And getting a bunch of money at such a young age too. Like, think about what that does to a completely healthy mind, and then throw on top of it the addition of CTE. I mean, it's yeah, it's a crazy cocktail. I guess it just had me asking a lot of questions about, you know, the kind of person that I would be in that situation, and how I would handle things, how difficult that might be. Yeah, it's a lot of food for thought there.
Oh, thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me again. I appreciate it.
All right, you guys, we'll be right back. Halloween is right around the corner, so if you are planning on entertaining this year like I am, you might still need some ideas, right? For food and bites and decor. So our resident food stylist, Lisa Moriello, is joining us again in front of the camera this time to give us some ideas. Okay, what I like about what I see so far is that I feel like I can
You
do
can do
this.
this.
Maybe.
That is exactly the idea. So we've only got really a couple of days.
I know.
So you want to be thinking about ways to spooky things up, but maybe something you're making anyway, and you certainly don't want to be going out spending hundreds of dollars because you're in a panic.
No.
So I
No.
started at the dollar store.
My favorite.
My favorite. Dollar Tree is my jam. So
Yep.
this is like everything you see here is from there, under $60, except for the food, obviously.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Decor. So I actually made these over here. These are really fun.
Oh,
Yeah, so
I love them.
I like decor that can either like come apart so that you can just, you can store it, and
Oh.
things that you already use, right? So like these are my candlesticks from home.
Yeah.
And then I just made these with some yarn, hot glue, and then some little spiders.
That's
those candles.
so cute.
Also from the dollar store.
Oh, I love this because then you could take it out and place it somewhere else.
Exactly. And then when the holiday's over, you could rip that off, put everything in storage, or
Right.
just use it with your regular decor. So
Adorable.
another thing I picked up was a skull baking pan. So look how cute these are. These are
Yes.
just cinnamon rolls. The one
They
you
smell
buy.
so good.
Oh my God, they're my favorite.
Yeah.
So cinnamon rolls, just like you would get in that,
yeah.
Pillsbury roll.
Right.
Stuff them in, bake them, decorate them. It's also really cute
Oh.
for like a breakfast, like little omelets. So for like Halloween morning, if you want to make the kids something fun,
Yeah.
I just put like egg and cheese and bacon in mine.
Oh, you could probably
Make
do
'em-
so many things in there
Oh my
then,
gosh,
right?
So many things. You can
Yeah.
make little pizzas in there too with like pizza dough, stuff with
Cute.
cheese. So that was like one thing I bought for $10 that has a multitude of uses.
So simple. And you're right. Just something that you could have made already, but now it's a little spookier.
Exactly. Things you're going to eat and serve anyway is super
Yeah.
fun. So exactly leads me to my point, a dip. We always have a dip.
Of course.
This is store-bought buffalo chicken dip.
Oh,
But
my favorite.
look at my puking pumpkin.
That is so funny.
I was so excited when I found this because look, he almost looks like he's like retching
Yeah,
phone. It was just the perfect
yeah.
find.
The kids would get such a kick out of this.
So easy. You guys can do
Yeah.
this together. And I mean, it's gross, but it's like just on that edge of like fun, but it's
But
like
that's what
gross.
Halloween is.
Exactly. It's
yeah.
gross or it's spooky. And then, so
Cool.
that's one appetizer. And then I have two more here. So like
Yes.
charcuterie, maybe a little bit out, but bruschetta's in.
Wait, I love both.
Okay. Yeah, you could still do. I still have a charcuterie board.
So cute.
But this is a little different spin. So I actually bought a dollar store ghost cookie cutters.
Yeah.
But the cheese was too small. So I did these freehand. So You can really
This
just
is a woman of many talents, people.
You guys can do it too. Look at a picture of a ghost, cut it with
So
a
you
knife.
literally just took a mozzarella ball, basically, and then cut the slices.
Pre-sliced. This way it's nice and smooth.
Yeah, easy.
Made the shape. This is just a little balsamic, eyes and a mouth.
Yeah.
And then I served it with some prosciutto, but you could do like a tomato bruschetta.
Yeah.
Again, fun little finger sandwiches. You'll probably serve something like that anyway.
So cute.
And then this is...
Wait, yeah, what is this?
This was kind of like my... is it a fail or did it work out? It's like a witch's hat, but doesn't it kind of look like the sorting hat from Harry Potter?
Yes, 100%.
It was kind of a happy accident. All this is I like to actually make my own like cream cheese, like dips or something for a cheese board. So this is just like a veggie cream cheese that I made with a little food coloring, some poppy seeds, and then I just shaped it to look like a hat.
Now, how did you shape it?
So this one actually just has some foil.
Okay,
like a thin layer.
And build it around.
Exactly. So you can still scoop in and get it, but it does give you like a base to work with and give it a little stability. But yeah, I kept it.
I feel like the kids would just get such a kick out of that.
Thank you so much.
I love it.
I was very excited. All right, and now on to dessert.
Gotta have sweet treats.
Gotta have it. I hate baking. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
So this is just sugar cookies that comes in the roll.
Yeah.
Slice and serve. But then, love googly eyes.
Yeah.
Just add a little googly eyes, some cookie icing.
Mummies.
So you get the idea right away.
I love that. And again, simple.
Again, you don't want to be like, baking a 6-tier cake with, 4 or 5 days to
and the
go.
kids can even help you to decorate that so they feel like they're in the mix.
That's a really, really easy one.
Cute.
And then last but not least, this one's great because this is definitely kid-friendly.
I was going to say, that looks so yummy, though.
The world is kind of your oyster with this. So this is just, melted white chocolate. You turn it into a bark, and then you crumble all of your favorite Halloween candy. So great to do even after the holiday.
Yeah.
You just take some googly eyes, some sprinkles, your favorite seasonal Oreos, anything you like.
So cute.
You melt the chocolate. And my little trick is this silicone mat. So these are great for when you do bake.
Yeah.
But it also makes for a great nonstick for this. So
easy. You could peel off.
Yes. So parchment paper also works if you have that, but this is great because
like this stays better.
Yeah, and it's reusable.
Yeah.
So you could even see like it just comes off. So I actually saved the honors for you. You could break yourself a little bar.
Okay.
Just break it. Go ahead. Go crazy.
Okay.
And it just shatters. That's it. It's good, right?
I love chocolate.
Yes.
And I love that it has texture and crunch.
You could even do sweet and savory with this. So you could put like some pretzels or popcorn, all your favorite candies. So yeah, just some really simple ideas on the cheap and really something that you definitely can pick and choose, but all very achievable in the next couple of days before Halloween.
And this really makes it look like you put the time, you put the effort. When something's themed, I don't know, that just puts it over the edge for me.
Absolutely. And again, it's stuff that you would probably eat and serve anyway with just a little bit of a fancier or a spookier twist.
Just fun.
Yeah, exactly. This guy's my favorite, though. You want to take him home?
I actually really do.
You're having a Halloween party.
You really do. Oh my God.
Don't tell Joe.
I won't tell anybody. Okay, I mean, you guys know the deal. Need a little time to eat this, but we will be right back.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
The Medicare annual enrollment period is officially open, and millions of Americans need to make critical decisions about their health insurance coverage. Joining us now to discuss from Aetna Medicare is Vice President and Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Ali Khan. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Justine. Thanks for having me.
So, with the Medicare annual enrollment period officially open, what should viewers be thinking about before they choose a plan?
During this AEP, which runs from October 15th through December 7th, there's so much information swirling. I try to keep this simple. Number one, what is the plan that I can afford in my budget, right? Number two, are my favorite doctors, hospitals, pharmacies in network, and are they covered? And third, from the prescription drugs that I take, what's covered by that plan and at what cost? This is something that can change from year to year in terms of what kinds of drugs are covered at which levels. So it's a really important place to focus. Again, lots of other things to talk about, but if we get those three right, those are the basic building blocks of making really good decisions during this AEP.
Okay, so then do you have any advice to help Medicare consumers understand their Medicare plan options?
Definitely. We have traditional Medicare, right? Which we all know.
Sure.
That said, Medicare Advantage differs in three really big ways. Number one is affordability. So in Medicare Advantage, every plan has a maximum out of pocket level that caps what's going to come out of your wallet for that given year in terms of your healthcare costs. That's something traditional Medicare just doesn't offer. Second is around actually prescription drug coverage. That is a standard part of Medicare Advantage coverage with many drugs at either no cost or very low cost in order to make sure you're investing in your own health, which is not something that traditional Medicare covers. And thirdly is really what I think of from a wellness perspective. In Medicare Advantage, we see a lot of different benefits that invest in you, whether it's in your overall wellness, whether it's in dental coverage, vision coverage, hearing coverage, fitness, or many other things that you can look at and decide what meets your needs. And that's just not something that traditional Medicare offers. So all in all, a lot of different things you could be thinking about, but those are the big three that help kind of make the complex simple.
So where can we go then if we want some more info?
Lots of places, but start with us, AetnaMedicare.com. You'll answer some quick questions about what you're looking for, what you can afford. You'll get information about what you should be prioritizing, and you'll be able to explore our Aetna plans to see which ones are right for you and which of our high quality services we can match. It also connects you into our call center agents if you want to talk to a real live human, or if you need to be connected to trusted community agents like brokers that are in the community to help select a plan. So AetnaMedicare.com is a great place to start.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks so much for having me, Justine.
Welcome back. We know diet and exercise are important, but a lot of people don't realize how important managing glucose levels is. Nutrition expert Pam Nisevich-Bede is here to share the latest breakthrough in glucose monitoring. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, why is it so important for us to understand our metabolic health?
So glucose levels are unique to every individual, and the way your glucose levels respond to your day impacts your metabolic health. So metabolic health involves every biochemical process throughout the body, and it's different for everybody. But glucose is this one central factor that if we can improve our glucose levels, we can improve our metabolic health. And what this feels like is better mood, better focus, better sleep, maybe better performance, whatever that performance looks like for you. Glucose changes throughout the day. It's unique. So the way you respond to foods, exercise, stress looks different on a continuous glucose monitor than it might look for somebody else. Continuous glucose monitors are this biosensor that sits on the back of an arm. It's worn for 14 days. It's about the size of a quarter. And 24/7, it sends data to an app, like a Lingo app. And Lingo is going to translate your data and give you this real-time insights across your day, along with coaching, information about metabolic health. So the habits that you make, to the diet, to the exercise, etc., are moving you closer to your health goals.
So then how can Lingo help people?
Yes, so let's talk about small tweaks we can make for our metabolic health, but also getting our day started on the right track. So breakfast. I'm often asked, is breakfast the most important meal of the day? And my answer is breakfast is the greatest opportunity we have to start our day steady. What we eat for breakfast and any meal really impacts our glucose. So what you're eating can cause this glucose spike and crash, a roller coaster across your day. But by adding more fiber, adding more protein, adding more fat, adding foods that you love to foods that you also love, giving carbohydrates some company, you can find steady energy and steady glucose and feel better in your own skin, and your glucose is going to improve as well. You can find more information about metabolic health, coaching, recipes. You can try Lingo for yourself by visiting hellolingo.com.
There's still more to come. Don't go away.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Dad!
Okay, here we go, throw it!
Yeah.
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Nice.
Now that the weather is changing and we're bringing gatherings indoors, I have a few of my favorite wine picks here to help change up your sipping routine. First things first, I like to choose a wine brand that really stands out, not your traditional choice. I'm partial to a California-based label, and Orin Swift Cellars and its winemaker and creative director, Dave Finney, are known for unique, interesting grape blends and edgy labels. The wines themselves are high quality, award-winning, and they have unique names with these eye-catching labels. You can see the uncompromising creativity behind the brand just by looking at a bottle. And for varieties, I have here two of my favorites and two of Orin Swift's most popular red wines, Abstract and 8 Years in the Desert. Abstract is a Grenache-based red blend from California that encompasses Orin Swift's signature drinkability. It's a perfect introduction if you're new to the brand. The name you can see speaks to the artwork on the label, which is a collage of magazine clippings that took Dave Finney 4 years to put together. Now, after not being able to produce Zinfandel for a number of years, 8 Years in the Desert marks Dave Finney's return to the varietal. It's a deep crimson wine with notes of ripe blueberry, black plum, wild raspberry, and espresso bean. The label you can see has texture as if it's wrapped in saran wrap and expresses the relief you'd feel after being stranded in a desert. Essentially, the wine is meant to reflect the excitement for Orin Swift's foray back into Zinfandel, which Dave Finney is known for. You can head to orinswift.com to find Orin Swift wines at your local retailer and for more information on the brand.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Welcome back. I am so excited to welcome our final guest of the day. Nothing can stop rap superstar and icon Fat Joe, who is now using his voice in a new way, talking to some of pop culture's most influential personalities on his new show on Starz, Fat Joe Talks. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so we have seen you do so many things over the years and conquer the music industry. You've done podcasting. What made you want to take a turn into TV and host and executive produce?
Thank you for the question, but it's always been a dream of mine to have a TV show. So for over 20 years, I've been going back and forth to Hollywood because I'm an East Coast guy, and telling them I would be great on TV and I will win the hearts of America. And so finally, when COVID happened, I started going on my Instagram live and I started interviewing all kind of people and talking. And then Starz reached out and said, listen, we think you could have a TV show. So what's the beauty of it is that the people got to see me in the humblest form of starting and doing these interviews and getting better to where we at now. So we grew together, me and my audience, and it's going to be special, you know, on Starz.
Okay, so that leads me to my next question. We have so many shows out there now to choose from with streaming and podcasts and TV. So what makes this show different from other interview programs that we might be watching?
What makes it different is when a guy like me goes to a show like yours, I have invisible guards up because I don't know what you're going to ask me. So that limits the freedom of the artist to actually talk 100% honest and accurate. But being that these people know me for 20, 30 years, they trust me and they know all I'm thinking is positivity and I'm not going to jam them up. You as the audience get to be a fly on the wall and be privy to conversations you'll never hear anywhere else. And so that's the beauty of this. And we're going to talk about depression. We're going to talk about tough times. We're going to talk about relationships. We're going to talk about politics. But everything is shining the light and bringing the upliftment on the people, where people are going to be able to hear stories that make them feel just like where they are, and knowing that they could succeed if this person succeeded.
Now, I know that you're close with a lot of the people that you're going to be interviewing, but how was it that you chose who was going to be on the show, especially those first few guests?
All icons, all American icons, LL Cool J, T.I. and Lotto, Method Man, Buju Manta, Mary J. Blige, J-Lo, Hakeem Jeffries. I mean, you name it, these are all icons. And so we're going to have nothing but the icon. This is not the show where you get the whispering dog. This is not the show where you put the food in the thing and then you pull it out and it's done. This is a real, nothing but icons, home run hitters coming up to the plate.
Now, I know that you're going to be talking about the music industry now in relation to what it was like in the 90s when you possibly even collaborated with some of the people that you're going to be interviewing. Looking back now, what do you think is one of the biggest differences in the music industry now versus back then?
You know, me and Method Man talk about it. You know, back in the 90s, there was more privacy. And, you know, you had to be like a tough guy to rap. And now in 2024, you can be yourself and be charismatic and tell jokes and have a great time. That's a big difference in the hip hop game. Like if you think about the Brat and all, they was all tough. Everybody was tough. But now we're just cool guys and girls, and we'll just be talking about our experiences through the world of hip hop.
Okay, so then you've checked another thing off your list, right? What comes next? Do you still have things that you want to conquer that you haven't yet?
For sure, as a businessman, as an entrepreneur, but really, this is a dream come true of mine. I've always wanted it since I was a kid in elementary school. And the fact that Stars took a chance with me, go download the Stars app, The Fat Joe Show, and it's going to be incredible.
Thank you so, so much for being with us. This was amazing.
Thank you so much.
All right, you guys. Well, that wraps up our October episodes here at Lifestyle Today. As always, be sure to head to our YouTube channel or our website if you need any inspiration or need a refresh on anything that you saw today or even last week. When we see you again in November, it'll be time to start thinking about Thanksgiving and really getting ahead of the holiday season. I can't wait. We'll see you guys next time.
The proceeding was sponsored by Lifestyle Today Show.